3, 2, 1. Hit it.
Yep, here he comes. Riding his trusted steed through the Sierra foothills as he brings you the news. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! He calls himself
Charlie!
What you doing, Charlie?
Sorry, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. There you are. Look how cute you are. Yeah!
Hey, Charlie. What's with the dark glasses?
And now, here he is, a man of God, living in a world of Disney.
Ow, Charlie!
Charlie Simons.
Charlie bit me.
Hello, my friend. Yes, welcome to Do Not Talk. Talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about, religion and politics. I'm the Charlie Simons guy that everybody was just talking about there for a second. It's kind of telling that I had to have a pre-recorded capture of some audio of women saying I'm cute. I didn't actually make that, but I love that intro. I'm glad you're here, and Sabrina DeMarco is glad you're here too. She's part of the Mom Army. I'm sorry, the what? The what? Yeah, actually wearing fatigues, actually wearing camo. What do you mean? Mom Army, we'll find out together, but I can give you a little idea in just a second before I bring Sabrina in and find out what they're doing and how you can be involved if you want to. And I suggest it. They're a great group of people. And I'm a huge fan of mama bears, and that's kind of how this whole thing got started. Huge fan of mama bears. They, as far as I'm concerned, are the ones that can save our state. I don't know about the rest of the nation because there's too many really ridiculous people who will vote for someone merely because they have ovaries, no matter how bad they are. Of course, I'm talking about Obama Harris. I want to introduce you to this in just a second, though, but first I wanted to invite you to please shop online. Over 100 American-made products now in one place at mypillow.com/Lee. Mike Lindell will share some of the profit that he makes from the products that you buy, so you'll be helping the show as well. Last time, I think I made $19. So, I know it's kind of dismal, but I want to thank you both for watching and for going to mypillow.com/Lee. mypillow.com/LEE. My middle name Lee can get you up to 75% off my pillow products. So please go there. See, there's something you like. Over 100 products now, all American made. He had everything pulled off the big box stores because he dared to question the election. The left has punished him and gone after him, so we have to reward him by utilizing him and using him and his products and buying them. mypillow.com/Lee. What is a Mom Army? Well, check this out.
You have been silenced for too long.
To the beautiful children, this message is to let you know
it took so much courage for you to stand up and speak the truth.
This is not your fault. And you did nothing wrong.
We are not victims. We are survivors.
You are so unbelievably brave. You are worthy beyond measure. You are perfect.
We hear you. We see you. We support you.
We believe you. We honor you.
Your trauma doesn't define you. You are amazing. You matter.
I need you to know in your heart that you are perfectly made.
You are not alone.
Have hope. Hold on. Pain ends.
Also, I'm so proud of you.
You have a mom army behind you.
Hold on. Pain ends.
Wow. Hello, Sabrina DeMarco. How are you, my friend? It was so great getting to meet you just recently, and thank you for being on the show. I'm looking forward to finding out what a mom army is. I never even heard of y'all until I just met you this past weekend at that nationwide Trump rally with Freedom Rider 1776.
Yes. It has been nothing but blessings since arriving at that rally. I mean, we are so grateful. We are so grateful. I am so grateful. God is good.
Amen.
Yes.
So tell me about Mom Army.
So we are a group of survivors. We're moms, aunts. We're a lover of children and their innocence. And our mission is to keep their innocence intact. You know, we've seen how California and a lot of the other states has exploited children since 2020. Even before, honestly, this is a long problem.
We're about to find out why, too. We're about to find out what happened with Epstein and what's going on with Diddy.
Yeah.
We are about to see some names. I believe I've heard from several sources that there's about to be some stuff it's already leaking out about the massive amount of money that's behind these people who absolutely worship the devil.
Yes.
And Jesus was quite clear what happens to anyone who jacks with kids who are his. It'd be better for you to have a heavy millstone tied around your neck and to be cast into the sea. Jesus didn't say it'd be better for you to do it to yourself. He said it'd be better if it was done to you than what's going to be waiting for you when it comes time to pay for your sins. And there's massive amounts of money behind this. A lot of what's going on with the open southern border has been part of it, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. It 100%. You know, our mission is to protect children, fight for parental rights, support other advocacy groups that align with our mission, and cultivate more combat. Combat is the right word. Combat this evil. Like, let's just call it what it is. This evil that surrounds our children, and we are willing to die on this hill. So, Mom Army has changed my life. It has opened my eyes to the immense problem. It's the true pandemic. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know, the trafficking that's going on in our country, it is the real pandemic. COVID was a flu. This is the problem, and the problem needs a remedy. We need to fix it.
The thing that I've learned too about children who are sexually abused, whether it's through trafficking or through their own stinking family members or a friend of the family, or in school by teachers, all this is sick, it's twisted. I am all about make pedophiles scared again. Yes. No, you don't get to be a minor attracted person. Not in my county. You're not welcome. And you are going to get help. You're going to give the only way to truly get over this kind of sexual sin, and it is a demonic oppression and possession, that you would crave to be sexually active with a child.
Yes.
That is demonic. That goes directly against God. And Jesus, like I said, took a firm stand on it. Mm-hmm. And we should be too. But yet I see churches never even talking about it. I hear Christians who are like, la, 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 I don't want to hear it. They can't even be bothered to vote Only about 40% in California. 40% of those who claim to be Christian are even registered to vote.
Yeah.
They're not voting for pro-life candidates. They're not voting for candidates who take a stand for God and godly principles.
Yeah.
We're not even standing up. Just the Christians alone could be turning this state around in an election or two.
100%. Let me just throw some numbers at you. More than 365 children go missing every single year in our nation. Our nation is actually number one.
Did you say 365?
365
per year?
Yes.
That seems awfully low. It's got to be higher than that.
Oh, it's absolutely low. Here's the thing. Half of them are not reported because the government has their hand in it. So this is not something that pertains to just one sick individual. This is on a broader scale. This is a country problem. Like, we have a problem. It's within. It is within.
Because we have people in positions of power who are living that lifestyle.
And yes, they're the purchasers. They are doing the purchasing. And the problem is that, well, going back to, we are rated the number one country for child sex trafficking. Second is Mexico. Third is the Philippines. We are number one. We are also number one for the purchasing of these children. So, and you're right, these aren't reported, and these numbers do seem low. And that's because a lot of the people doing the buying, no one's ever going to tell, right? It's a big secret. Everybody thinks it's a big secret. It's not a secret. We all know.
What does the word say about that, by the way? What is done in darkness will be exposed by the light.
That's it. And that's what we're seeing. We're starting to see.
It will happen. And it's happening. You're right.
100%. Yeah.
Thank God. Thank you, Lord.
So, and I was researching these platforms that are being used to actually do the trafficking. In the top 3, Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram. And I bet you more kids have access to those 3 platforms than they do real educational platforms.
Let's back that up. You just mentioned the 3 of the biggest social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, which is the same thing, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Instagram's owned by Facebook, and Snapchat.
Yep.
This is being used predominantly to traffic children.
Oh, they use their resources, their platforms to recruit these children. Yes. It's really happening.
Who's they?
I think it's safe to say the purchasers, the people doing the purchasing, the traffickers doing the trafficking because they're recruiting, and the buyers are looking constantly. And that's where they go to look. That's where they go to groom. That's where they go because everybody has it, right? What's the first thing you tell somebody?
And you can make any profile and you can pretend that you are them. You can pretend you're a 13-year-old boy or a 13-year-old girl who's just looking for friends. And then the people respond in kind. And then next thing you know, it's like, hey, let's have a meeting.
They just did a sting in Roseville on the 13th of last month. They arrested 19 people, 2 of them police officers. I believe one of them was a federal employee. Another one was a teacher. This just happened in Roseville. California is a hub for trafficking.
Sacramento is one of the top 5 worst in the nation.
100%. It's true.
Because we have all the freeways meeting here, and you got a port of entry just an hour and a half away, and you got the Delta that makes its way to Sacramento, and then they're dispersed from here all over the nation. They suddenly just disappear. I saw Sound of Freedom. Like many, I was not that shocked because I've been talking with people who are fighting against this like you have been. I've been doing that since I was with the Salem Media Group. I've interviewed many people who are involved in this work. I'd love to see us all come together instead of all these splinter groups doing this kind of stuff because there's power in numbers.
It is.
Now we have actual elected officials who are fighting against you having a voice. Why? Why would they fight? Why would politicians fight against you having a stronger voice?
one of the things that Mom Army, we do several things, but one of the things that we do is fight these bad bills that are being passed in California. We work very closely with the Freedom Angels, and
Denise Aguilar.
Yes, she's a good friend.
Fantastic, yeah.
She's amazing. But she's, taken these people under her wing and really educated them on the process at the Capitol. And it's eye-opening. I really encourage everybody to get down there and actually see what's going on, because if you did, I think it would change the trajectory of California when the people actually get involved. And, we work with other organizations like hers to collaborate and join efforts, because again, like you said, there's got to be a unity between all of us. There's got to be a common goal and a common interest. And there are these kids that need saving. And, it doesn't matter who gets the recognition. It doesn't matter. What matters is that these children are being saved. And the problem is not enough of them are. Only 1% of trafficked children are actually rescued. 1%. That's
1%.
nothing.
1%? That's dismal?
Yes, that is, yes.
But like you just mentioned, that sting in Roseville, 2 of them were police officers. Yes. So you got law enforcement involved.
You got politicians buying kids. You have law enforcement buying kids. All these people that we are supposed to trust, that we are supposed to find comfort in, you can't, unfortunately. So I think, bringing awareness to what is really going on and actually opening people's eyes, we have to.
Have you been invited to be a guest speaker in front of any clubs or groups or churches?
A few. Yeah, we have. Churches, there's a funny thing about churches. I've been with Mom Army for a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I have knocked down churches' doors asking them, hey, this is what's going on. Can you help us? Can we unite? Can we reach the masses? Because this stuff needs to be talked about. And I get a lot of pushback, specifically here in Sacramento, about, we don't talk about politics and religion. We don't talk about that. Oh yeah.
In church, you don't talk about religion?
They don't talk about it. Church and religion and politics and church, they don't mix. So we don't want to touch it. Well,
that's not biblical, by the way.
No, it's not.
They do mix.
They do mix. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time I checked, the Bible is a very conservative resource. So if we aren't talking about conservativeness and the Bible, we aren't doing our job as Christians.
Yeah, that's why I brought this up, because it's been my experience with a lot of these groups that are battling sex trafficking and being vocal about it and trying to get things done and laws enacted and getting people educated about it and what's happening. It's right here in your backyard. Mm-hmm. They've been very strong believers and followers of Christ Jesus. Mm-hmm. So that's why I asked about churches, because I can't say the same for especially a lot of these mega churches. I can't say the same, that they are definitely on board with God, taking a stand against this.
Yeah, the very first church that I have encountered that was willing to work with us is Glad Tidings. I had just met them Saturday. Pastor Dave said, "Hey, what's going on? What can we do?" I brought to him. We're holding. Mom Army is holding a candlelight visual for all of these children that are missing. Our administration has openly admitted that there are 325,000 kids that have crossed over this border and they don't know where they are. We don't know where they are. They've admitted this. So my organization is actually going to be holding a candlelight vigil so that we can bring awareness, so that we can, bring it to the community, educate and pray for these kids, stand in solidarity with them, because our government isn't coming for them. No one's coming to help them. So we need to. And so that's kind of that's my stance on it.
I have a lot of fellow conservatives, Christian conservatives, who are saying, "Well, it's just overwhelming. No, it's just too much. I don't even know where to start. So I don't even watch the news anymore." And I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you where you start. You start with the children, because that's where the communists are starting. That's where these groomers and sexual deviants are starting with your children in school. Why don't you start with the children?
Yep.
Why don't you make that a main focus for what you're doing and what you're going to do and how you vote, if you even vote at all?
Yes.
It starts with the children, because I'm
Yep.
guaranteeing you on the left, and then in the world of the devil, he's starting with your children.
Oh, that's their first line of attack, is our kids.
Mm-hmm.
That is their first line of attack. What they don't seem to realize is there are a bunch of moms and dads ready to die for their kids. So they need to be really, really careful, because they're pushing us to a line. Like I said, we will die on this hill. You do not come after our kids. You stay away from our kids, because that is a line that you do not cross. And every single one of our battalion lead captains feels the exact same way. So their tactic is
we can't just stop them for now, though. I don't think people realize that, because even if we get things done and we get, okay, yeah, all right, well, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll make it all better. No, they won't. They'll stop for now if the scrutiny gets too intense, if the focus of, like cockroaches, they scatter when the light's turned on them. Well, I've been turning the light on them for several years now, but I'm just one lone little old guy out here, some good old boy from Bakersfield who's going to listen to me. And they know that. They know that. So if we come together, now we actually start this mom army, and I love that name. We could make great inroads, but it can't be just, well, for now, we'll go ahead and stop this, because they will bring it back. We have to defeat them. We have to defeat them at the box office. Yeah, at the box office. Start boycotting film. Start boycotting Hollywood. We start boycotting network television and all this other crap you see on cable.
Yeah.
End it. Last Halloween, I was appalled when a Republican event was held at a restaurant that had this great big giant wicked looking clown carrying two children, one by the hair, one by the feet, holding them upside down, and they're screaming. That was a little Hollywood or a Halloween decoration in a restaurant where the GOP was holding an event, a fundraiser. I'm like, does anyone see anything wrong with this? How come nobody's speaking up about this? Oh, Charlie, it's okay. We can't tell them what to do. No, but you can say we're not going to hold our event here. Well, we got to take what we can get. Stop compromising.
Yeah.
Republicans, Christians, stop compromising.
Yes.
Draw a line in the sand and don't cross it, and don't let them cross it. We've got to defeat them. That's how passionate I feel about this, because otherwise they will just keep coming back, because they know if they can own the children in just one generation, they can flip an entire nation. That's how solid it is, and it's happening now. Yep. There's Sabrina, it's so imperative. This is the most important election of our lifetime. It truly is, because if we don't make severe and huge inroads this coming November, what we know and have loved for so long will be gone
forever.
And I do want God's will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. But I know God's will is also for his people to speak up and stand up and not cower and hide in fear.
Yes, and they will be held responsible for compliance.
They're going to be accountable.
Held responsible for silence, because silence is compliance. And if you're not speaking up and if you're not doing anything, because there is something for everybody to do in this fight. It is not specific to the moms. It is not specific to the dads. It's not even specific. Grandmas can join this fight. Calling a legislator and telling them, hey, I oppose this bill and I suggest you not vote for this bill because, this goes against what we stand for. And also, you are a constituent of a legislator who represents you. So the best and easiest thing you can do is make calls. Anyone can do that. It literally takes 3 minutes. And you can even leave a message. So there's so many ways to help.
For people who say, okay, I'll call. Well, first of all, why don't you try and find out who your elected representative is, which is easy. Put in the county you live in and elected representatives.
That's it. It's your zip code. It's your zip code. You plug in your zip code and it pops up and it tells you and it gives you all of their information.
There you go.
It's very easy to do.
So let's say, okay, I and the chat room's open now, right now, by the way, live on Facebook if you have any questions or comments. But let's say, okay, I'm going to call. Let's pick my guy. Well, you know what? I don't even know if it does any good to call Republican representatives anymore because they seem to be hell-bent on shutting up and not talking about this. They don't talk about election fraud, sex trafficking.
Yeah.
They don't talk about the border so much.
I will say, with the exception of Bill Essayli. Bill Essayli has been very outspoken in
Bill
this.
Essayli's awesome.
Yes,
okay,
he is
so Bill's on board. So
Bill's
call
on
somebody who's not, somebody you're not hearing about. Your representative is, let's say, fill in the blank, Tom McClintock. So I'm going to call Tom McClintock and I'm going to say, do something. How do I say it? What? Tell us how we should talk to them. What kind of message would we leave?
Typically, it would be a bill number, AB 1955 that was actually just signed into law. Hey, I call Newsom's office and I call the legislators. I actually show up in person and I just say, hey, listen, do you guys know about this bill? Yes, they know about the bill. Okay, well, myself, I'm a constituent and I am opposed to this bill and I am asking that he opposes this bill. It is that simple. That's it. They ask you for your name and they ask you for your zip code just to make sure that you are a constituent, and then you let them know how you would like the legislator to vote.
But most of us don't even know these bills because they've waived their own 30-day print rule. Most of us don't even know this stuff's coming down. That's what happened with AB 2223. And I was one of the only ones on the media actually talking about it. And there were protests going on at the Capitol, and we definitely showed up en masse against that. Still got signed into law, though. Got amended a little bit, but not by much. Parental rights have been completely annihilated in the state of California. Yes. So I call my representative. How do I even know about these bills, though? There's California Family Council, which does a great job of making us aware of what's coming up. That's californiafamily.org.
Yes.
But how do we find out about these bills? We can't even keep up with them.
No, there's 2,800 a year. And quite frankly, towards the end of and I learned this, the Freedom Angels have educated me so much, but at the end of legislation, they're passing hundreds of bills without even knowing what they say. In fact, a lot of the grassroots that we do, we know more about the bills than the legislators. Their staff can tell you more about the bills than the legislators. A lot of these legislators aren't even reading these bills. They're being told how to pay, and they're being paid off to vote a specific way. So the corruption in that Capitol, I can go on and on and on. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And what's being and that's the problem is there isn't enough engagement from a civic point. There's not enough of us going on a regular basis, as hard as it is, knocking on these legislators' doors and saying, hey, listen, we're in your district. And even if you're not in their district, you can still represent people in their district. So if I were at the Capitol and you're in Bakersfield and I said, hey, I'm going to, go talk to your legislator. I know that they're Republican, but say they were Democrat, I could represent you. So there is a way to do this to get action. We just need more people. And this is what Mom Army is trying to facilitate. We're trying to, unite everybody, all these coalitions that actually can move people and getting them together and making changes, strategizing, figuring out ways for fundraising on specific mom brain, on specific, why am I losing it right now? Projects. There we go. specific projects, and just trying to get everyone with the same mission and the same it's a hard day today, man. The same mission to get us all together to really make change, because it's not enough what we're doing by ourselves. It's just not. So we are looking forward to teaming up with Glad Tidings Church. And actually, I don't know how much your watchers know, but Glad Tidings is opening a sanctuary for kids.
They're trying to.
Yes, they are fundraising for it, and
they're fundraising for it. And yeah, it's a former
prison,
I think.
Yes,
isn't it?
It's about 5 miles away.
Because what we don't consider is, even if these children are trafficked, like, again, Sound of Freedom, that film, where do they go?
We don't have the resources here to.
Where do they go? Into the foster care system?
Yes, which is
how many are actually put right back into sex trafficking through the foster care system in California, Sabrina?
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. They put them back in the system to actually, so they're back into a trafficking scheme, because that's what it is. Child Protective Services, it's a trafficking ring, in case anybody doesn't know. And I know because I have actually talked to those kids. I've talked to those kids that have been in the system and have been trafficked.
It is wicked.
It is
tremendous money.
Here's the thing. It's and I just learned this. It's much more profitable than selling drugs, right? You can sell a child over and over and over and over again. You can only sell drugs once. So it is extremely profitable. These children are being bought several times a day.
Here's the worst part. I'm sorry for interrupting, but once that breach is broken, once that wall is torn down of separation of a child and sexual activity, there's a reason why I fight so hard to protect them. Once they're 18, legally responsible, go crazy with the cheese whiz. I hope you don't. But before that time, we have to be vehemently opposed to this grooming that's going on in schools, because they're introducing the topic of sexual activity to a child.
And they are getting it from all aspects. So let's think about this.
It never gets better.
No,
it affects them. It affects their subconscious. It affects their developing mind, their young developing mind. And this is what the left knows. This is what the devil knows. Mm-hmm. You can corrupt them like that at a young age, and they're going to be jacked up the rest of their lives. And most likely, they're going to perpetuate it and continue it, because that's what was happening to them. So they're going to do the same thing.
As a survivor of child sexual abuse by a family member, somebody that was supposed to be trusted, I can tell you that the damage that's done to a child, they carry that for the rest of their lives. I'm not telling you that they don't heal from it, because we can. The shift from victim to survivor is a long one, though. It's long and it's hard. And my experience, I'm going to be very transparent. If it wasn't for Mom Army, I would still be a huge mess. Huge. But in my advocating for their children, in getting the help that I needed, in finding a community that supports me and does not make me feel ashamed. It doesn't make me feel like I'm this black sheep all the time. It doesn't make me feel different. They bring me safety. And if you can bring safety to a trafficked and or an abused child, then you're doing something right. And that's what Mom Army does. That's what they do.
By that time, though, the damage is done. And the only healing that truly happens is through a saving grace and knowledge of Christ Jesus.
And God.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
God is the only one that can heal those kind of scars.
Yes.
And I thank God that I don't know what happened to you. You can share what you want, but suffice it to say, um, the creator of the universe is utilizing and using you now, and the pain that happened to you and your trauma is using that. That's your testimony. I'm
Yes.
sorry you went through that.
Yeah.
I got kicked off a jury one time, and it was about child molestation. And they asked me, Mr. Simons, what do you think about an adult who shows physical love to a child? And I said, well, I'm a Christian, so I believe in the sanctity of life. I even have a problem with capital punishment. I know you can find justification for it in the Bible, but I still question, because I don't want to ask anyone to do something that I don't know if I could do myself, actually throwing that switch or giving that kill shot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm very pro-life. However, when it comes to those who sexually molest children, I have no problems making that exception.
Yeah.
And they said, thank you, Mr. Simons, for your time. Dismissed.
Right.
You know, somebody like that on the jury.
Right.
I was
That
like,
tells you
oh,
something, doesn't it? Doesn't
it
that tell you
tells
something?
me the court
Yeah.
system? Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I thank God for you and what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a team of us. And, we have 30 battalions, both nationally and internationally. We have battalions out in Germany, Canada, and then here within the States. But these women are warriors. They are ready to fight for these kids, and they will stop at no length. Like, there is no length that they will stop. They will go until we can't go anymore.
And it's hard for them to talk about, isn't it?
It's
as an
very
adult,
hard.
something that happened to you as a child and that has affected you adversely your entire life and in all relationships, I'd imagine. How could it not?
I will say within our group, I believe that this in and of itself, just doing the work that we're doing and helping, that brings healing. That brings a lot of healing. And so I am just eternally grateful for the women that have shown up for me, and the lifelong friendships that I've made. And you're just a passionate team. And we have a dad army as well.
I was going to say, be confident that there's a lot of us men out here too who have no patience and would literally. I don't know what I would do if I walked in on someone sexually abusing, molesting a child like that, but I don't know if they'd leave the room alive. I would do everything I could to stop them.
Right.
And I would contemplate stopping them to where they can never do it again.
Right.
To another child. That's how strongly I feel about this.
Yeah.
I'm stocking up on millstones.
Yeah. I really wish that everybody had your passion. I do, because
I think there's a lot of us who do. I hope there's a lot of us who do.
I do too.
I hope there's a lot.
I do too. In this fight, sometimes it's lonely. It can be lonely sometimes. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the state capitol to talk to these legislators, and you just leave defeated. But I will tell you that I know why I'm doing it, and that makes it all worth it. So again, we won't stop until things change, and anybody can help. Everybody can help. Everybody should help. And God is moving all of us exactly where he wants us. And
strongest things we can do for Mom Army: prayer, pray for success, pray for evil to be defeated, pray like King David, pray for the wicked, pray for their salvation. But if that's not God's will, pray he destroys them. He brings them down. He tears down those strongholds. Pray, and also financially support them, because they're on their boots on the ground.
We are boots on the ground, and we
Even
are
better,
not.
Join them.
Yeah, we are not. We don't get money from anywhere. We do this all on our own dime. Everything is on our own dime. The founder, her name is Seek Smith, the most amazing woman I have ever met. Talk about being the hands and feet of Christ. Oh my gosh. In fact, I need to link you up with her so that you can talk to her, because she will blow your mind.
I'd love that.
This woman is absolutely amazing, and she does God's work every single day, and she does it relentlessly and tirelessly, and her fight is nothing I have ever seen before. When I grow up, I want to be Seek Smith. When I grow up.
Well, follow them. Write this down, please, and write it down carefully, because if you add in a letter or leave out a dash, it'll take you somewhere else, and who knows what. So it's mom-army.com, right?
Yes. And we do take donations. We appreciate all of them. We're actually working on a project right now. It's called the Hope Box. Unfortunately, the way it came to us, there was somebody within our group. Something had happened to her family member. And so in that came this amazing Hope Box. And let me just break it down. We are cultivating a box to hand every single survivor that will have every tool that they need, a lot of tools they need, most tools they need to actually heal. And I mean, these are like physical things, touch. These are counseling, offer them counseling, words of affirmation, things that will discredit the lies that they've told themselves their entire
Hopefully
life.
the New Testament is in there too, I hope.
We will, yes. Bibles I will bring that to her attention. Bibles should be a must.
Yeah.
But we're trying to come up, when these cops go and save these kids, or even some of the organizations that go in to extract, they have a teddy bear that they hand them. And that does nothing for their toolbox, right? They have a teddy bear to hold on to. We want to actually give them a toolbox of information, of different kinds of therapies, of healing things that they can actually take with them wherever they go and have them as resources. So
they've been treated as a commodity. They've been treated as chattel. You're valueless except for what your body can do for somebody who wants to give me a lot of money, and I'll take care of you. It's slavery. It's sex slavery.
Exactly what it is.
And trafficking. And there's many different forms of it.
Yes.
Many different forms of it. So please help out and go to mom. That's just MOM -army. ARMY.com and get started there.
Yes.
Wow, Sabrina.
It's heavy. It's heavy. And it's worth every single second of my day. Every single second. If we can save one child, if we can educate people for them to save a child. I had a very interesting encounter. When I went to church, I had a survivor come up to me that hadn't told anyone yet. And I knew that she was a survivor just based off the look on her face. She was very, very quiet. She was very meek, very subdued. And so I asked her quietly, and she said, I am, and I don't know how to do this. We exchanged numbers, and so I'll be seeing her later this week. But the fact that I can reach one person to help, that's everything. And she's an adult, and I need to, our video stated the average age that people come out about their abuse isn't until
Finally
they're
talk about
50.
it. 52, yeah.
And so that's a long time to carry the burden and the heaviness of what's happened to you. And I know me myself didn't really confront it until I was in my late 30s. And I realized all the damage it did to my own children. The rocks that I was carrying, they were also carrying. So until the healing starts, and that's another problem that our society has, is we do not have the proper facilities to actually heal these children. And the idea that Pastor Dave has for this sanctuary, he addresses all of it. Every aspect of these children's lives, he has thought very, very specifically about and met every need. Who can't get
That's an amazing thing. I got to have him on because what she's talking about, Lord willing, is going to
piece of heaven. It's a piece of heaven for children. Yes,
that's what
I
they're
really
calling
want
it,
to
piece
get
of
that
heaven.
message
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I really want to get that message out. I really want people that walk away knowing that there is a project that's actually that's planned right now. We're fundraising for this. We're trying to get the money. We need $4 million to purchase this prison so that we can convert it into the sanctuary for children that will address every single need, whether it is education, medical, counseling services. It doesn't matter. Food. They're growing food for these children. How can people not want to support that? We got to support it. We need to,
because it's Christian. That's how.
Yeah.
That's why.
It
Because
blows my
it's Christian
mind.
based, because it's faith based. So they'll get no help and no quarter from any government agency, including county and city.
Yeah.
They don't get involved. They don't help Christian organizations. And it's the state of California's basic stance. If you're for God, we're not for you. And you got churches who won't get involved because this is actually a church that is spearheading it. So other churches aren't going to help because they don't want the competition. It is an uphill battle. This is going to be completely word of mouth, grassroots stuff. And I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I really need to, we need to talk about it. We need to get the word out, and we need to start really focusing on raising money for this place, because those kids, here's the thing, after you get them, after they're extracted, what do we do with them?
What do you do with them? No, they put them right back into the foster care system. Is what they've been doing.
Exactly. And so these kids don't have a chance.
Nope.
They don't have a chance. Well, this is their chance. This place is their chance.
Even still, it's going to have to be court ordered, isn't it? They can't just say, hey, this place is open. Come live here. If you've been sexually trafficked as a kid and you've escaped, come here. The state won't allow that, will they?
I don't know. That's a question for Pastor Dave, I think. I think he would.
Well, let him know I'm ready anytime. I'd love to help.
I will. Definitely will.
Sabrina DeMarco, you got a family?
Sabrina Williams.
Say it again?
DeMarco is my maiden last name. But
I'm sorry. That's how I was introduced to you, was as DeMarco.
That's okay. Sabrina Williams. Yeah.
Williams. Okay, gotcha. Well, congratulations on the marriage. You got kids? Did you inherit some children? Is it like a Brady Bunch scene? What is it?
So we have 7 children. I brought 6 into the marriage.
Wow.
Well, I brought originally 4. We added 2, and then he brought an amazing son, and we have been very blessed and highly favored. Yes, my husband supports my work. He's actually supports Dad Army and all of the advocacy, all of the grassroots stuff, the boots on the ground. Like, he's there every step of the way, and I'm very thankful for my support system.
All right, and you put your email address up there, and it still says DeMarco.
It does.
DeMarco Hair.
It's DeMarco Hair. Yes.
At gmail.com. So I guess that's
forever.
your day job is making people more beautiful and presentable.
It used to be, not anymore. My full-time job now, I homeschool my children. I've decided to pull them out after I realized what was going on. That we had a situation with my 13-year-old, and her PE teacher thought that it would be a good idea for her to dance to a specific song, and I heard the lyrics and was beside myself. I was absolutely beside myself. I contacted the school. The school was not willing to work with me. I basically had told the teacher, she's not going to be doing this assignment. If you want her to go through, it was a line dance or something for PE, and if you'd like her to go through the dance, that's fine, but it will not be to that song. And I got pushed back, and so I pulled her out. And then I ended up pulling my other 2 kids out for vax purposes. And I am a full-time homeschooling mom. My husband is in the military. And yeah. And
What branch?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Yes.
Okay, well,
course.
they eat
Yeah.
better than the Army. They definitely eat better. He's career Air Force, though. That's awesome. But please
Yeah.
give him my my appreciation.
I will. Thank you.
And I wish you all the best. I want you to do well, and thank you so much for what you're doing and for being on my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for being had.
Thanks. Have
That's
a
my
good one.
favorite joke. I always
Yeah.
say that joke. Dumb, isn't it? I'll talk to you later. And you want to help this show, do that at venmo.com/do not talk. Venmo.com/do not talk. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.